So this video was by request. Somebody made a meme to ask me to make a channel video. So I have to give the people what they want, but I'm not gonna lie. I woke up today and I haven't felt this way in like eons. But I also did wake up at 3 o'clock today and realize it was a full moon. And at the same time, I checked my phone. There was a message from somebody talking about that it was a full moon. So let's get into these transits, right? So I'm gonna show you how this works, and then we can discuss because I have theories, right? So I have a bunch of asteroids on here from like personal research and stuff, right? I woke up feeling like shit, y'all, like off thyself shit. And I was like, wow, well, that's a big jump from how I usually feel to just being like end it all. So no, something had to be wrong here, right? So the moon is going to be pushing out energy in the sign of Sagittarius at the 20th degree. The 20th degree is a Scorpio degree, right? So I was not sure if it was going to land at the 15th to 20th, which is why I pulled this up, or the 20th to 25th, since it's the 20th degree, it can go either way. And bottom line, the frequency is going to go through the 20th degree. So I was not necessarily in a low space, but I guess if it was something coming up from Scorpio, it can be pulled from your root because that's where your sexual organs are. Aries and Scorpio used to be ruled by the same thing. I'm just like, y'all, I was so messed up. I still feel sort of, I felt like we need to call Thanos. We need to snap. Everybody need to restart this. It just feels a mess. Like I can't even get my up to read a chart. So I'll have to try to fit in some card readings today. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't like to even open my crown when I feel like this. And though I can sort of see what the issue is. So over here, we got my 12th house. Your 12th house is your dreams, your unconscious. Uh, happens while you're asleep. At one point, I woke up out my sleep and I looked around just because I could feel somebody was in the room. I thought it was a human, but I was like, "What? Who is that?" In my head, I didn't even realize I wasn't asking out loud, but like a quick flash of the predator went by me, and I giggled because like, who would answer the predator? But I mean, look what's going on in my 12th house. So Varuna is fame. That doesn't apply here. The groom, everybody knows what Baal is. Everybody knows what Lucifer is. That's all the stuff running in the back of my mind. Why would that make me feel like crap? No, it's more likely this over here, the South Node conjunct Zeus. Typically, he pisses me off and I feel like crap afterwards because we got Mercury, which is the way the messages are being shot down to us right now, hitting Zeus. And look at that, the North Node is Zeus. So I'm going to blame him. I won't blame Jupiter for everything. Okay. Because it is an actual entity, it is an actual being, it is a variation of Michael. That's why you'll look at the charts and you'll see that there are two Zeuses, one here and one here. He's a dual entity. If you look up Janus, you can see his original format, but split into two, it's one side Michael, one side Lucifer. If they were together in their Christian gray format, it would be Yeshua, which is like the one who knows his shadow but works above it or comes above it. So this Scorpio energy is about to hit us all, right? So it'll be one of two things. And it does depend on where you're vibrating. I'm like, all right, what could have made me stoop to such a low vibration like that time? But I'm on my period. I think anytime you're dealing with something in your womb, especially if you have painful periods like me, then you're going to have some low vibrational stuff going on. I think that's kind of why it happens, but that's a whole nother discussion. So what's being triggered for the collective is what my main thing to do this video on is. So excuse me guys, I'm a little, because all my shit feels weird today, just freaking weird. Uh, do I want to say foggy? Maybe. You know the feeling you have when you astral projector, you have sleep paralysis, and then you still feel like you're not like seated in your body, right? That's what I feel like. I don't feel fully like in my stuff. So, new things that will be occurring or be released. Universal medicine related to all medical professions. Okay, this is supposed to be the positive. This is supposed to be for the angel first and foremost, right? 15 to 20 degrees. If you have any personal planets at these degrees, you will be affected. But in general, this energy will be sent out on the higher end of the scale. So, related to all medical professions, so something happening with medicine, capacity for global multidimensional understanding that seems like a level up consciously, enables us to detect and identify the cause of illnesses, I say gift, great healer, bearer of universal remedies, leads to true healing, which touches all levels. Infinite goodness, unconditional service, bestows the, can't even read, y'all, bestows the philosopher's stone, patron of high science, grants access to the truth, which enables us to understand the dynamics of the universe, expert in esoteric knowledge, Kabbalah, alchemy, metaphysics, a truly wise and elevated soul. Okay, so somebody's getting lit. That's wonderful. But on the bottom end, a tendency to not recognize one's own error and to put oneself or others down, unstable, tumultuous emotional life, competitive love, passionate relationship, perverted desires, aversions, fights, quarrels, vulgarity, overly emotional, excessive willpower, tendency to criticize, anger, jealousy, hidden truth, dissimulation, double meaning, lip service, two-facedness, hypocrisy, insincerity, spitefulness, meanness due to lack of recognition of one's errors, offenses, and misdeeds, worsens one's karma, difficulty with destiny, it should say with. Oh, it says difficult destiny. My bad. Conflicting, rebellious spirit, pride, blasphemy, rivalry, animosity. Themes, force and strength, helps to resolve karma, prisoners, reincarnation. I'm concerned about the prisoners because as we speak, there are people trying to do their peaceful protest thing, and then there are people who are going to be in this energy. Okay, so that's part one. That doesn't resonate with me, so that part doesn't feel like it was hit. When I woke up this morning, I was very upset that I'm not already divorced. I wanted to run away and be a nun. I'm not where I want to be in life. This does not feel right. My messages aren't syncing like I'm on the correct timeline where I'm supposed to be. I am being held back by something. I was really, really upset because for the last 5 years, I've dedicated myself to being in patience and spirituality and learning all this stuff. Uh, I have music I've been sitting on for 5 years, literally. It's anti-suicide music. It's hope music. It's humanitarian music. It's like great, really good stuff. And every person I went through, it's like I have like a natural cloak. If you have 12 house planets, you have a cloak, and it's a protection so that you don't get like brought in by the wrong people, or like somebody doesn't notice you're a blessing and they have no intention of doing good by you. So you have a cloak so nobody knows like, hey, that's a diamond. Y'all thought it was dirt, right? So that when you come across the right people, they'll notice it despite what everybody else thinks about it. Oh, like Shallow Hell. There was a part in that movie. All right, there's a guy who's like a womanizer and only dates a certain caliber of babes, but this guru puts this thing on him so he can suddenly see people for what they really look like inside, right? So he falls in love with this girl only to find out that it was the glamour and she doesn't actually look like that. But then there's a part after his friend removes the glamour from him and he's afraid to see the girl because his friend keeps talking about how ugly she is because she's big, right? So he's like, if you knew that you had $1 million, you could touch it, you could feel it, you could see it. Why would it matter to anybody else that it didn't look like $1 million to them when it does what it needs to do for me? That's sort of the cloak of the 12th house. Only people pure of heart or with good intentions can see it. So been sitting around with this music and I'm like, there's nothing else that sounds like it. There are not even any messages. Like there's no music for humanity or man in the mirror or anything, but I don't understand what I'm supposed to do when every person that I was instructed that was supposed to be a part of this fell off. But the message I got was God comes through the people. And you don't have to be evil to close God out. If your heart is hurt, if you are wearing the mask of God, is like when you say you're Christian, but you don't do anything else that goes along with those values. So it seems like this place is actually like 75% or more satanic, actually. And most people will be like, we don't rock with Satan. But does your behavior say that. And satanic stuff is just anti-life. If you were doing anything that perpetuates the separation of people based upon race, color, creed, if your behavior is in alignment with things that are down spiral, like if you only hook up with people because they have something to offer you and not out of love, that's stealing from their energy, right? Like everything is upside down right now. Everything is in the upside down. And I'm like, no wonder I can't do this next part of my mission because like don't nobody want to hear that shit, I guess. Don't nobody want to hear anything positive. I'm just singing on a track that I wrote about this little 8-year-old girl whose spirit went past me. She had committed suicide and it was the saddest thing ever. So I wrote this song called Kids on the Playground. And there were several other songs that I did not share with other people because I was told that the right person would uh, know it by the songs that I gave them. But so when I woke up this morning, I think the feelings I was feeling was just like, because I'm not in the right space, I'm not doing what I was supposed to be doing, and I have no idea what I'm supposed to do because there was supposed to be like a dynamic that was supposed to happen to do it. So I said, God, I feel like I know what you meant for me to do, but I also feel like you meant for me to have peace in my life, and trying to do this other thing has brought me anything but peace. Is messing with my faith. Like what? Like, ugh. So look at this, y'all. I came to look at the next 20th degree thing, which is why I had it up on the screen. So spiritual communication inspires meditation, knowledge of abstract science and philosophy. Interested in spiritual life and teaching, fascinated by the contemplation of higher worlds mysticism, loves solitude and meditative states, facilitates communication with the divine. But down here, negative spiritual communication, spirituality, spiritual extremism, tries to persuade and impose one's beliefs on others, non-respect for other people's pace of evolution, wants to convince and save everybody, difficulty meditating, abstract person, tendency to flee to escape concrete reality, autistic behavior. That's not cool to be on the negative. That just happens. That's the spectrum. Recluse, rejects spiritual knowledge and communication, ignorance, errs frequently, difficulty learning, may enter a religious order through fear of facing life, difficulty achieving one's aim in communication, fear regarding daily tasks, feeling of failure, teaches spirituality without having acquired knowledge, seeks spiritual power, melancholy temperament, isolation, egotistical celibacy, difficulty living as a couple, communication, and what was the other theme? Singing, right? So because we being smart here, right? I'm going to go back up to the top of this. Negative spiritual communication, right? What did I just show y'all? Was in my 12th house. So while I was asleep, and even when I just popped up for that second, and the only thing I could like get out of that was the predator, something to make me upset about singing was being like in my ear. I didn't even want to sing. I didn't want to listen to music today. Like I did my walk, but all I listened to was Unleash the Dragon, which is a whole nother thing, right? But I didn't want to talk to nobody. I'm having a hard time. I did meditate. I have a hard time like connected. The messed up thing is when these beams get sit down, you gotta like transmute the frequency. So even though I was like clearly down here within like demon range, I gotta find a way to say, what can I make of this frustration so that when something like this comes back around, I don't feel like, right? So no matter what I do, it's still going to be this job. I'm still going to have messages. I'm still going to teach. This is just who I am. But I believed what I was singing about and the power in my voice was supposed to help a lot of people. And I'm like, if that's the case, God, if that's what I was really supposed to be doing, wouldn't it have been done by now? Like, I've been sitting on the music for 5 years. Every time I try to do something when I get smacked down, I mean, I guess I could also look at that as like the other side, making sure I don't give them no anti-suicide music when they already just got 444,000 male souls from suicide this year. I've been saying for the last 2 years, there's a bird box phase coming, guys. A bunch of people are about to try to kill themselves. Then during the Olympics, I said, hey guys, they just did black magic to attack the masculine energy on the planet. They're attacking males' mental health. They want a bunch of suicides. And then here we are, and it's happening, and I feel What is the point of me having this information or telling anybody? I'm not in a position to have a platform where it matters. And the people who do have a platform where it matters won't say anything about the things they've witnessed, whatever their message is supposed to be, because there's a possibility that they can mess up or it can mess up their money. Now, since I've been doing this, I've been offered everything by those entities that are circling through my 12th house. Everything. Even today, the lottery popped back up again. Like, all you have to do is say yes. And this could be so much easier for you. But there's nothing I can be offered. I want my peace, and peace the devil can't give you. That's only from God. He can give you all this worldly stuff here, which is why it's very difficult being here sometimes, especially once you start like getting your spiritual ears, because God can only come through the people with open hearts. A lot of the hearts here are actually closed because they've been hurt and they don't realize. You know what I mean? Because of the Christian mass. Just as long as you go to church and you say, I rock with God, you don't have to help out your fellow man. You don't have to actually care about anybody else. You don't quiet your mouth to gossip and all the other stuff that comes along with when you are genuinely just trying to be in the Holy Spirit and be in that energy. And unfortunately, if you're going to do your job here, I don't think you can look anywhere before it. And I kept saying television, but I was thinking I was going to be good. No, today doesn't quite feel like that, y'all. So I'm going to pull. I have my, you see, all dark decks, right? Because I wanted to know what was being put out right now. What will be put out? So what if I feel like this in advance because I'm really sensitive to it? What is about to come out? And I'm gonna guess it's probably more suicide. So guys, the 20th degree is a Scorpio degree as well. So what is coming out with this Sagittarius moon this week? What is being released? Mm-hmm. I know I ain't tripping, which is what makes me even sadder. Like, for real, for real. Dear God, why do I have this power, this vision? I see what's coming up and all this other stuff, and there's nothing I can do about it. So it's sort of torture. Like, today I was like, it's just the purge needs to happen, but not like the movie The Purge, but like it needs to be cleansed. Like, this place is infested with a bunch of demons, like lower level entities, and some because they made agreements. But it's really sad to see that none of the people that are in positions to give hopeful information and even willing to sacrifice their position to say something to give somebody else hope are in positions of power. Like, I got caught up. 211 was watching some Diddy thing, and it was the hairdresser, I believe. And he was like, yeah, so I saw her getting beat up. And like, it was horrible. And the lawyer said, well, what did you do? Did you try to step in or help or anything? And he said no. For the rest of that episode, it was like three more people who had witnessed her be violently beat up every time. And what did any person do? Nothing. They were like, no, because we would have got blackballed and lost our job. That is what I'm talking about being the issue here. I never thought of any heroic stuff as like self-sacrifice being necessary, but I do not care how much money or what job or what position I was in. If I ever like saw a man hit a woman, and I'm not a small person, maybe that's something to do with it. Maybe other small people, but no, I'm 6'1", I'm three something, I'm coming. Like, if I saw you hit a female, the next thing you know, you was gonna wake up very confused because I'm not gonna let that happen. But it's that energy and those people that are willing to sacrifice themselves and whatever else they have to stand up for the right thing that is needed at this time. What do you do when you're the only person standing up? Or it doesn't matter if you're standing up, because all the people who have the positions that were supposed to be there, because a lot of the angels were in the forefront, traded their angelic nature for worldly gifts. Because this being, this entity, comes to everybody and offers them something. It happens in dream world. You are still very much yourself in dream world. Sometimes these people agree, and then next thing you know, boom, they famous like a year later, and it makes no sense. They call them industry plants and stuff, but there were things that got pulled. Part of me feels like I'm purposely being blocked, so I feel like I have no choice but to be like, okay, okay, I'll do it your way. But like, baby, the devil's here. God is forever up there. Unless you want to stay on earth forever, there's nothing that could benefit you from making a deal. You get caught in indentured servitude. Like, in The Little Mermaid, when Ariel made the deal, if her daddy hadn't stepped in, uh, she would have been forced to like do errands for Ursula because she got caught in a contract. That's what happens when you fail your Saturn. Say you wanted to get married to this person and y'all were supposed to end up together, and that person completely blew off your contract, you would have to owe a lifetime or however many lifetimes was the equivalent to that in a character that worked for Satan. So, good way to put this. Say you want to be a singer last life, right? You failed. So when you come back to be a singer this life, you have to be like the worst singer. But by the worst, I mean your message is trash. You just talk about trash. There's nothing to what you're branding out there. You're just spreading whatever the sin you most identify with is. And sin is simply the excess of something. It is one thing to have an album that is about love and it create some content that is about making love. But if it is completely about that subject and that's what you're perpetuating along with drinking and all that other toxic behavior, then that is you leading your fan base to a certain place. And there's an L for that. But if it was your contract, if it's what you got caught up in, you're just doing what Satan told you to do this time because you lost last time. In the case of the collective, what is getting pushed out? And I am so sorry. I really wish that there was something I can do in some way, shape, or form to prevent this because I'm really in my feelings right now. So a whole bunch of people's childhood trauma is going to come up. They're going to feel like they're fated to suffer, like it's never going to get better for them. This is detachment from self, like disassociation. This is loneliness. And this is backed up emotions. So all bad things, all bad things are getting pushed out with that moon just because it is in the Scorpio realm. It is underworld energy that is being pulled out here. So what is the intention here? Clearly the suicides, because if you kill yourself, that's an automatic like reincarnation trap. So what is the intention here? What is the intention? Oh, well, that was quick. To make anybody who is supposed to be important in the future take themselves out before their time comes. That's pretty clever. I told you, I woke up today like, shit, I could really just die and be okay with that. Like that was the feeling, but I did not feel like that the day before. It's just only when I woke up this morning. But in going back to what I was just saying about the flash of the predator, like yes, the one from Alien and Predator, but it was just whatever being that was getting me to understand that it was predatorial, was sending me that message. But there used to be multiple people that used to come into my room as a child. So if the thing they are triggering and then erasing is your childhood trauma, just to make you feel nasty, like to feel that angst, to feel that sadness when you get up and then it's just wiped away and you got to walk around all day just feeling like detached and detached from yourself. And I just wanted to be alone. I wanted to be by myself. I didn't want nobody to talk to me, nobody to touch me, nothing. So that's not good for the person who has lost their job or who has just really been having a shit year for all of that to come up. And I'm just like, what is this for? What was that? So, what is the purpose? Coercion. There's going to be a spike in suicides over the next 2 weeks, guys, because of this. And they're putting it under a test of endurance. Can you endure the darkness? it gets to a point where this is just like cruel, right? Can you hold your light up in the dark? Not everybody can hold their light up in the dark. That's why this is particularly cruel. And then you look at these devices all day, right? Which is another trap. They're dead lights. It's like the lights are going into your eyes and then they get you stuck. But not only that, magnetically, you are pulling in stuff all the time. So in this case, where this type of energy is going through, it's triggers. Triggers are going to come through your devices to make you upset, anxious. But either way, you're still going to be scrolling until you finally get off the device and you go to sleep. But all of that is still running in the back of your mind. I'm trying to think like just one person. I asked God, I was like, yo, and this is when I first found out about all the Hollywood shit and the rituals and stuff. And I'm like, yo, I don't know if I really want to do this because of that, right? Hold on, let me pause this. I'm back. Now I feel like I gotta explain. That's my PD Pablo alarm. So I used to really love playing the game, Playboy Mansion. It was like my addiction. I love that game, right? It's really old, but you could choose the music that was on the radio, and the only song I listened to when I'd be playing like for hours was Vibrate by PD Pablo. So when my work day is over, that's the song that starts playing on my phone. But it was supposed to be like I didn't know, subconscious throwback, because there was a time period where there was a guy where I was with and we sort of ran our little empire, like the Playboy Mansion, like just hoes everywhere. Like I think in this lifetime he tried to do it on his own, but it doesn't go well. Like girls, right? So I'd always just be the one like, girls, come hang out at my house. This is my husband, he's cool. And then it just turned into a thing. That did not happen this life because P's and Q's. But making different decisions has different consequences, which is why we are all here having this conversation today. Because I'm like, dear God, what am I doing wrong? I keep doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's not going like I think it's supposed to be. But that's only when I keep thinking about, I think this music is supposed to be out there because everything else is hell music. And then I start feeling guilty. And then just like, it's a cycle. I don't feel like God would have me do anything that would stress me. But then I think about Moses and everybody in that Bible. The stories are real. It's just the rules that make me go, Today, I don't know, y'all. Y'all know usually I can pull and have an answer, but I'm feeling very, this energy is icky. And maybe I needed to feel it so I would know what's going on out there because I do try to stay off my phone. I do uh, avoid worldly things I guess that's the way to put it. So what can be done to knock out this weight? What can be done to make this better? Hmm. Okay. Honor your innate ability to see psychically and trust your gut feelings. Trust your guidance and the vibrations you feel. When you truly step into your abilities, all of your senses rush in. Look into expanding your gifts by taking classes, diary, meditating, and listening to your inner voice. It's not personal, it's projection. Everything that's about to happen, everything that's put out there, I feel like the news cycle is going to be crazy too, guys. We got some storms coming. Hold on, let me see what hurricane. Hold on, because I got to the point now where we can sense when something disaster wise is on the way. I heard hurricane. I'm not going to take it back. Do hurricanes ever cause earthquake? I don't know if those are connected. And sometimes I think the things I don't know help in my favor. Because if I knew everything, then I could just like pull from that Rolodex. But some stuff I don't know, and I can still deliver the message, and then it happens, and it's like, yeah, y'all, I ain't even know the message is just coming through me. But it's rejection. In this case, it's me being used as a conduit, but something was like pushed through me like the wave. Many times others project their own pain onto you. This situation is not personal, but rather an opportunity for compassion for yourself and the other person involved. Stop taking the blame by automatically thinking it's your fault. Have discernment of what your own Have discernment of what you own, but also what isn't your problem. The stuff that's coming up. Here it goes again. Childhood wound. So the stuff that's going to be coming up, guys, if you are someone who is able to, and hopefully this helped, because I was about to not do this video, but I'm like, y'all need to see me in all ways, good, bad, sad. Might come on here snotty one day, but hopefully not. I'd rather be like, as I usually am. Uh, when you sense this, because this is not the first time they're going to try this at all, right? Separate yourself, like how much of this is my shit? What is currently going on? And what is just a stank day? Because one bad day can make you say, and it wasn't even worth it. It wasn't even your energy. It wasn't even your feelings. First thing I did when I realized I felt like this was, oh, hell no. I started with my frequencies, like I must fight this in some way, shape, or form. And I did an energy cleanse meditation. And that was before I even came to the computer. Before I even get with this, I got to check with God. I got to make sure like my player right. Like if my vibration is off. And if after I do all that, I still feel like I do now, it's okay to take a day down. Real ones understand. You see thunder going on already. But I do notice that when there's dark days like this, there's thunder. There's probably some sort of configuration for that too in these charts, because I did see that certain people control uh, the weather with their emotions. They're about to throw a ball at us because they need us to take out ourselves. They need the place to be as sad as possible. Team Dark Side is like doing a sweep, but it's a sweep of like, hey, let's grab everybody we can. If you can get them to take out themselves or somebody they love, even better. So all wildness is being triggered at this time. If I was to give any advice, I would say stay close to your loved ones. Stay off these freaking devices because they're triggers. They are being used because the entities roll through the AI. That's why sometimes you see stuff that you didn't even say out loud in the messages, particularly when they're negative. Like you can receive positive synchronicities from your guides and stuff, but you can also receive negative synchronicities from your haters because they're watching too. Everybody has a team on them. I finally watched Sinners, right? And I was like, yo, I've been trying to talk to you guys about the fact that when I first got my gifts and when I first like settled into a home, I noticed at nighttime I would start to get this feeling that there were like beings outside of my house. Watching that movie was so triggering because that's exactly what I felt spiritually. Like if you watch that movie, if you did watch it, think of it from a spiritual perspective. There weren't physical vampires outside my house, they were spiritual ones because they can see light in the other realm. I didn't know that they could sense singing or that that was important because that's what I started doing when I was in LA. I didn't even come there for that. We didn't know what we were going there for. I was a photographer, so I was like, I was about to do some Los Angeles photography, get some high-end weddings, right? But when I got there, 211 was like, you should start writing. I'm like, what you mean? It's like, write music. You used to write music. You're really good at it. So I started writing, and I was like, oh, I guess that skill ain't going nowhere. And that's how I ended up with 3 albums that I was supposed to give to somebody, but ain't nobody ever show up. And I'm caught between whether that was God like blocking me from like the head vampire who wanted to use my voice, or just because now I see that movie, I don't know. Uh, Today is weird, guys. But everything is weird. There's a lot of strange spiritual stuff going on out here. You're not tripping, you're not crazy. And in the 60s, 50s, 40s, anytime before that, if you had a spiritual gift, they would have drilled a hole through your head just to make you more normal to everybody else. But if you had a gift like back in the 1300s or any time before that, they would have called you a shaman. They would have called you gifted. They would have raised you up in the village and put you somewhere where nobody can get to you unless they had a special mission or something. You would have been revered. So don't let these modern times throw you off or your gifts or your journey. The best soldiers were created through trauma. Your childhood is messed up, but it's so you can withstand more when you get older. So in the case where somebody else might have woke up this morning and actually did it, I woke up, got the ping, and realized that it in this moment It was meant for me to feel it so that I could say something before it hit the rest of you guys, because it doesn't actually hit until tomorrow. So check in with your loved ones, particularly those that feel lonely. I've been on suicide watch, like me watching other people's souls for the last couple of years, because technically, historically, I was the first one to ever commit suicide. So whenever somebody's close to it, my soul sort of hangs out at their vibration. So I sort of try to talk them out of it. Now I'm doing that in this body, which is why the singing thing is really weird to me, but I understand because a lot of times I sing somebody a lullaby when they're sad or they're about to like exit if I can't talk them out of the suicide. But I also do it to calm them, to stop them from committing the suicide. Even in this life, like when I go to sleep at night, I'll be doing different little journeys, and I'll wake up and I'll see something that reminds me of it, or I'll see uh, whatever person, because sometimes they are celebrities, they are people in power, they are important because they're supposed to be doing a job, they're supposed to be sending a certain message. So I'll see something that reminds me that what happened with that person was real. Like, so it'll be something and they wrote something that they wrote in their caption or whatever the case may be. They don't know why they wrote it, or they don't remember the dream, but it lets me know that I'm not losing my shit. A lot of you have come to me with similar situations. Just know your angels in the skies down here, guys. We are doing what we're supposed to do from the background, because when you get to the foreground, those entities come at you through the people. It's not the same as just feeling the lost boys outside your door. It will be those people in that black caravan. So have a good day, guys.